Welcome to 10th session, Finite Element Method subject, Module 2, 1D Elements, Analysis of Bars and Trusses. In the ninth session, we solved different types of bar problems. So in this ninth session, we are going to discuss analysis of trusses and how to obtain the direction cosines and what are the assumptions assumed for the analysis of trusses and the derivation of element stiffness matrix for truss elements. Then we are going to solve truss problem. So analysis of truss. A truss is a structural member made up of number of bars connected at the joints used to take up loads. So these types of trusses are used in bridges or transmission towers. A plain truss is one which should satisfy the equation. Equation is m is equal to 2j minus 3, where m it is number of bars and j it is number of joints or number of nodes. So if I know the number of nodes, I can find the number of bars, or if I in reverse also it is possible. If I know the number of bars, I can find the number of joints. Say for example, here there are 4 joints, 4 nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes. So m is equal to 2j, j it is 5 joints, 2 into 5 minus 3, m is equal to 7. So there are 7 number of bars are used. So like this we can find it. So we are going to assume some of the assumptions for analysis of truss. Those assumptions are: first assumption, the joints in the trusses are assumed to be frictionless pin joints. Second, self weight of the bar should not be considered and it is neglected. Load should be applied only on the joints. It should be applied only at the joints or at the nodes. Each bar or truss either induced with tensile or compressive forces. Forces applied only on the nodes. Those forces are either it may be tensile or compressive forces. These are the 4 important assumptions. Next, analysis of truss. The conventional method of analysis of the trusses are method of joints, method of sections. These methods are popular if the truss is a determinate truss. A determinate truss is one which can be analyzed by using static condition of equilibrium, that is summation of forces is equal to 0 and summation of moment is equal to 0. Indeterminate trusses are trusses which cannot be completely analyzed by just using static condition of equilibrium. In such cases, conventional methods becomes cumbersome. So FEM can be applied for analysis of both determinate and indeterminate trusses and beams. Hence, this method is more popular for structural analysis. Plain truss. What exactly difference between the bar problem and the truss problem? In bar problem, local coordinate and global coordinate are same. Whereas in truss problem, local coordinate and global coordinate are not same, they are different. Another important difference, in bar problem, each node can move only in one direction, only along horizontal position, along x direction. Whereas in truss element, each node can move along 2 directions, 2 degrees of freedom. It can move along x direction and also it can move along y direction. Say for example, this is the truss element formed between node 1 and node 2. X and y are the global coordinate and x dash is the local coordinate. If I want to define a truss element, I need local coordinate as well as the global coordinate. In truss element, each node will have 2 degrees of freedom. Say at node 1, this can move along x direction and it can also move along y direction. Similarly, at node 2, it can move along x direction and it can move along y direction. So next, direction cosines. What is direction cosines? Direction cosines are the cosine of angle between local coordinate and corresponding global coordinate. So this is the truss element inclined about theta from x, and this truss element from y axis, that is 90 minus theta. Say L and M, small l and small m are the direction cosine. Say L, it is cos x dash, it is cos theta. Similarly, M is equal to cos x dash y. So x dash y, it is 90 minus theta. So M is equal to cos 90 minus theta, it is M is equal to sin theta. That is L is equal to cos theta and small l is equal to sin theta. These are the direction cosines. And q1 dash is equal to u1l plus v1m. q2 dash is equal to u2l plus v2m. u1 v1 u2 v2, these are the nodal displacement for element. Say for this element, say node 1, it can move along x direction. Node 1, if I move along x direction, it is called as u1. Displacement at node 1 along y direction, it is v1. Similarly, displacement at node 2 along x direction, it is u2, and displacement at node 2 along y direction, it is v2. And local nodal displacement at node 1, it is q1 dash. Similarly, local nodal displacement at node 2, it is q2 dash. L and M are the direction cosines. So these two equations, if I write in a matrix form, so this it becomes q1 dash q2 dash is equal to direction cosine square bracket L M 0 0 0 0 L M and flower bracket u1 v1 u2 v2. This is the nodal displacement for the truss element. So this can be represented. So this can be represented q dash is equal to L into q, where q dash is equal to q1 dash q2 dash. L it is transformation matrix. It contains L M 0 0 0 0 L M, and small q, it is displacement. Nodal displacements are element displacement. It contains u1 v1 u2 v2 q. And L is equal to cos theta, M is equal to sin theta. These are the direction cosines. Then calculation of direction cosines. If they given theta, then we can directly calculate like direction cosine L is equal to cos theta, M is equal to sin theta. If theta is not given, if they given coordinate like x1, y1 value, x2, y2 value, so how to find the direction cosines and length of the element. So here L, small l is equal to cos theta. If theta is given, directly we can obtain. If theta is not given, if you know x1, y1, x2, y2 data, then L is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by length of the element. Similarly, small m, it is direction cosine. Directly we can calculate sin theta if we know theta, or else we can calculate like the coordinate y2 minus y1 divided by length of the element. So how to find length of the element? So length of the element can be calculated. LE is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Next, derivation of element stiffness matrix for truss element. Here truss element, it is considered one truss element formed between node 1 and node 2. X dash is the local coordinate and x and y are the global coordinate. And the relation between nodal displacement of a truss element in local coordinate and global coordinate, we know the equation. Q dash is equal to L Q. Q dash, it is nodal local displacement. L, it is transformation matrix. Q, it is element displacement vector. So Q dash, it is Q1 dash Q2 dash. Q1, it is a local nodal displacement. Q2 dash, it is local nodal displacement at node 2. So L, it is transformation matrix, contains direction cosine terms L M 0 0 0 0 L M, and small q, it is element displacement. U1 V1 are the element displacement at node 1. U1 along x direction at node 1. V1, it is displacement along y direction at node 1. Similarly at node 2, displacement along x direction, it is U2, and V2, it is displacement along y direction at node 2. It is represented by V2. Then a truss element in local coordinate is equivalent to 1D bar element having the stiffness matrix. So stiffness matrix for truss element in local coordinate can be expressed like K dash is equal to AE divided by L square bracket 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So A is the area of the truss element, E is the Young's modulus of the truss element, L it is length of the truss element, K dash is the element stiffness matrix for truss element in local coordinate system. And we know that strain energy for truss element in local coordinate, it is UE is equal to of Q dash transpose K dash and Q dash. And we know that Q dash it is L into Q and Q dash it is represented by L and Q. So this UE becomes of L transpose Q transpose K dash capital L and small q. So this can be rewritten like this: UE is equal to of Q transpose bracket L transpose K dash L small q. So again this can be rewritten: UE is equal to of Q transpose small q transpose K small q. What is K? K it is element stiffness matrix in global coordinate, and this can be calculated using this L transpose K dash into L. This is the element stiffness matrix for the truss element in global coordinate, whereas K dash it is element stiffness matrix for truss element in local coordinate. So we know L it is transformation matrix, L it is it contains direction cosine terms L M 0 0 0 0 L M. So L transpose it is rows are converted into columns, and here rows are written in terms of columns. So if I multiply L transpose K dash, so L transpose, this is the L transpose and this is the K dash. If I multiply these two, L transpose K dash is equal to AE divided by L square bracket L minus L M minus M minus L L minus M M. And we know L transpose K dash we know, and actually K it is L transpose K dash, again we need to multiply with L. L we know, L it is direction cosines small m 0 0 0 0 Lm. So we need to multiply this. So L transpose and K dash, this is the L transpose K dash and this is the L. If I multiply these, so stiffness matrix for truss element in global coordinate can be written like this: K is equal to AE divided by L square bracket. These are the direction cosine terms: small l square Lm minus l square minus Lm Lm m square L minus Lm minus m square minus L square minus Lm L square Lm minus Lm minus m square Lm m square. So we need to remember this stiffness matrix for truss element in global coordinate for solving the truss problems. So how to remember this? There is a shortcut. If you know these four terms like L square, Lm, Lm, m square, if I know, so here minus, here also minus, here again positive. That like this we can easily remember. So next, derivation of stress matrix for truss element. How to derive stress for truss element? The same single truss element it is considered formed between node 1 and node 2. X dash is the local coordinate and x and y are the global coordinate, and we know the relation between nodal displacement of a truss element in local and global coordinate, that is q dash is equal to L into q. So we know that q dash it is q1 dash q2 dash. L it is transformation matrix, contains direction cosines, and small q it is contains displacement vectors. So at node 1 displacement u1 and v1, at node 2 u2 and v2. Then the stress matrix for truss element in local coordinate is equivalent to 1D bar element. So sigma is equal to E V Q dash. E it is Young's modulus and V it is 1 divided by L E square bracket minus 1 1, and we know Q dash it is Q1 dash and Q2 dash. So here and Q dash it is L into Q. So Q dash it is represented by L into small q. Then we have substituted B, this B and L, this L matrix and Q vector here, and sigma becomes, so sigma is equal to E divided by length of the element square bracket direction cosines minus L minus M L M, and nodal displacement U1 V1 U2 V2. Then we'll take up one truss plorum. A truss is shown in figure made up of two bars. Determine nodal displacements, stress in each element. Young's modulus E is equal to 200 gigapascal. Here there are two truss element 1 and element 2, and there are three nodes, node 1, node 2, node 3. And at node 1, displacement at node 1, it is along x direction u1, along y direction v1. Similarly, displacement at node 2 along x direction u2 and along y direction v2. Similarly, at node 3, displacement along x direction at node 3 u3, along y direction at node 3 it is v3. Similarly, force is also two forces at each node. Say at node 1, F1 it is along x direction, F2 it is along y direction. Similarly, at node 2, F3 it is along x direction, F4 it is along y direction. Similarly, at node 3, F5 it is along x direction, F6 it is along y direction at node 3. Then at element 1, so element 1, we need to find the length of the element. So here area of the element 1, A1 it is given 1250 mm square. Similarly, area of the second element, that is A2, it is 1000 millimeter square. And here x and y value it is given. Y x distance is 750 mm, y distance it is 500 mm. And element 1 it is initial node is node 1 and final node it is node 2. Similarly, element 2 initial node it is node 2, final node it is node 3. We need to specify which is the initial node, which is the final node. It is very important, especially for constructing the global stiffness matrix. So here length of the element can be calculated like x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So if I substitute x2 it is 750 minus x1 it is 0 whole square plus y2 it is 500 minus 0 whole square. So length of the first element it is 901.387 millimeter. Similarly, direction cosines for the element 1 can be calculated. L is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by L, length of the first element. So x2 it is 750 minus x1 it is 0, length of the first element 901.387. so small l for first element it is 0.8320. Similarly, m direction cosine it is y2 minus y1 divided by length of the first element. Y2 it is 500, y1 it is 0. Here length of the element it is 901.387. So small m is equal to 0.5547. Similarly, we need to find a length of the second element. We can find length of the second element like this. Here, since it is horizontal element and it is directly given, so length of the element it is directly considered 750 mm from this figure. So L small l direction cosine for element 2 it is x3 minus x2 divided by L. x3 it is 0 minus x2 it is 750 divided by length of the second element it is 750. So small l is equal to minus 1. Similarly, direction cosine for element 2 m is equal to y3 minus y2 length of the second element. y3 it is 500 minus y2 it is 500 divided by length of the element second element it is 0, m it is 0. So this element connectivity table it is very important. The first element initial node it is 1 and final node it is 2. Similarly, element 2 initial node it is 2 and final node it is 3. Then we need to write this LM dem and L square M square LM AE divided by LE for element 1 and element 2. If you write it in a table, it will be easy for constructing the elemental stiffness matrix as well as for the global stiffness matrix. So here length of the element it is for element 1 it is 901.387 and direction cosines it is given for element 1. Similarly, for element 2 it is also given, and L square M square value LM and AE divided by length of the element it is given for element 1 as well as for the element 2. And we know the stiffness matrix for the truss element K is equal to AE divided by L, it is L square. This is the stiffness matrix. So it is already calculated and mentioned in the table. Now we need to substitute these values for element 1 as well for the element 2. So this is the elemental stiffness matrix for element 1. So AE divided by LE1, it is from the table, it is 2.773 into 10 raised to 5. Here direction cosine values are substituted. So since element 1, it is formed between node 1 and node 2. Node 1, there are 2 degrees of freedom, say 1 and 2. Similarly, node 2, it is 2 degrees of freedom. So for each element, total 4 degrees of freedom. At each node, 2 degrees of freedom. There are 2 nodes. So it is written like this, numbered like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, it is for node 1. 3, 4, it is for the final node for element 1. Similarly, initial node 1 degrees of freedom 1 2. Similarly, final node second node degrees of freedom 3 4. Next, in the same way, we need to write element stiffness matrix for the element 1. So here L and M, the small l, small m value, direction cosine values are substituted, and AE divided by LE, length of the second element, it is substituted here. So here element 2 formed between initial node 2 and final node 3. So initial node, it is degrees of freedom, it is 3 and 4. Initial node 3 and 4 degrees of freedom, 3 and 4. And final node, it is node 3 degrees of freedom at node 3, it is 5 6. Hence it is 5 6 5 6. Like this we have numbered, and it is very important, this numbering, to construct the global stiffness matrix. Now we will see how to construct the global stiffness matrix. So here there are 3 nodes. So node 1, node 2, node 3, and each node there are 2 degrees of freedom. So how many degrees of freedom? There are 3 nodes and each node 2 degrees of freedom. So total 3 into 2, 6. So 6 degrees of freedom. So global stiffness, order of the global stiffness should be 6 cross 6 matrix. So there are 6 boxes. 6 boxes. First elemental stiffness matrix, we need to write it separately, like 1 2 3 4. This should be 3 4. Here also 1 2 3 4. Here 1 2 it is for node 1, 2 4 it is for node 2. Similarly 3 4. Similarly element 2, it is formed between node 2 and node 3. Node 2, it is degrees of freedom 3 4 and 3 4. Node 3, it is 5 6 and 5 6. This should be 6 actually. So here first box, it is 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1 exists here. So this box can be filled like this value, 1.916. Similarly the second box, it is 2 comma 1, 2 comma 1 exists here, 2 comma 1, it is 1.276. Next similarly 3, this should be 3 actually, typo error. So 3 comma 1, here 3 comma 1, it is minus 1.916. Similarly this box, it is 4 comma 1, 4 comma 1, it is minus 1.276. Similarly 5 comma 1 does not exist, so 0. Similarly 6 comma 1, this box does not exist, 0. Like this we need to fill all the boxes. Here 10 raised to 5 common factor. So this is the global stiffness matrix, and we know the equilibrium equation. F is equal to K into U. F is the force vector and K is the stiffness matrix, and V is the nodal displacement vector. So since there are 3 nodes and each node there are 2 degrees of freedom, so force vector F1 F2 at node 1 forces, at node 2 forces F3 and F4, at node 3 F5 and F6. F6 it is along x direction, F5 it is along x direction, F6 along y direction. So this is the global stiffness matrix, and this U1 V1 displacement along x and y in node 1. Similarly U2 V2 it is displacement along x and y at node 2, and U3 V3 are the displacement at node 3 along x and y directions. So this is the global matrix. Now we can apply the any boundary condition. Since it is not mentioned, now I am going to use elimination approach. So elimination approach, here we can see node 1 and node 3. Node 1 and node 3 it is fully fixed. So according to elimination approach, since node 1 it is fully fixed and node 1 has 2 degrees of freedom, so two first rows and two first columns can be eliminated since node 1 it is fully fixed. And here also we can see node 3 also it is fully fixed. That means this fourth row and fifth row and sixth row can be eliminated. Similarly, fifth row column and sixth column can be eliminated because node 3 it is fixed. The reduced matrix it is F3 F4. F3 along x direction at node 2 there is no forces acting along x direction at node 2, so 0. So here along y direction acting at node 2 it is opposite to the y direction, downward direction, so it is minus 50 kilonewton. It is minus 50 into 10 raised to 3, here 10 raised to 5, here remaining terms it is 4.582 and 1.276, here 1.276, here 0.850. Here at node 2, displacement at node 2 it is u2 along x direction and v2 along y direction. Since node 1 and node 3 it is fully fixed, u1 v1 u3 v3 are 0. So now we can apply the Gauss elimination method, or from calculator we can directly find the u2 and v2 value. u2 is equal to 0.278 millimeter and v2 it is minus 1 millimeter. From u2 and v2 and Young's modulus and direction cosines, we can calculate the stresses. Stresses for the element 1 can be calculated using equation sigma 1 is equal to E1 LE1 into direction cosines minus small m small l minus small m small l small m, and displacements, nodal displacement u1 v1 u2 v2. Since element 1 it is formed between node 1 and node 2, that's why it is u1 v1 u2 v2. Now we need to substitute these values, all values. Then after simplification, sigma 1 is equal to stress for the truss element 1 it is 71.47 Newton per mm square. Similarly, for the stress for the truss element for the second element can be obtained. Sigma 2 is equal to E2 divided by LE2 minus L minus M L M for the element 2, and since element 2 it is initial node is 2 and final node is 3, so at node 2 displacement u2 v2, at node 3 u3 v3. Substitute these values and sigma 2 can be obtained. Sigma 2 is equal to 74.13 Newton per mm square. Next we can find the support reactions also. Support reactions can be obtained using this equation. R is equal to stiffness matrix, entire global stiffness matrix, then a displacement vector u1 v1 u2 v2 u3 v3, then force vector, global force vector f1 f2 f3 f4 f5 f6, then corresponding reaction r1 r2 can be obtained. Similarly, r5 r6 can be obtained from this equation. So this is the end of the 10th session. Thank you.